I'm with Jody and Molly from Maple Ridge Farms. Hi, ladies.
Hi,
Hello.
thanks for having us, Roger.
Thanks for coming in today. This has been a lot of fun. There's been so many stories that we've been able to unearth over the course of these interviews, and I've really been looking forward to having this conversation with the two of you, knowing as I do all of the amazing things that Maple Ridge Farms does up there in Wisconsin. So I'm super excited to give everyone the opportunity to have that chance to hear more about it. But before we get into the culture at Maple Ridge and how it manifests itself in giving, just talk a little bit about the organization itself, where it is, how big the company is, how long it's been in business, that sort of thing.
Sure. So the company started in 1979. Tom started it selling wood boxes from Honduras, 2-pound cheese block. 3 years in, he realized he needed more coverage, and he went into the promotional products industry. So from there, it took off. They didn't have any holdback. They had 3 employees at that point. To date, we have 25 full-time employees and 280 seasonal employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make a big bounce.
Yeah, a lot of fun. The knitting club comes in.
Yeah, oh, you heard.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And so outside of Milwaukee?
So we're north of Milwaukee, about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh,
we're
wow.
Like central Wisconsin,
Gotcha.
in the middle of Cheeseville. It is amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. And it's amazing to watch how, based on the seasonality, because you're in food, for anyone who didn't know, Maple Ridge Farms is a food-based company. So, so obviously there's some seasonality to your business around holiday gifting and things like that. So to watch your employee ranks swell by 10x over the course of the fourth quarter is really interesting to hear about. And I know that it has a significant impact on your culture. And obviously, being in Wisconsin as you are, there's a certain element of we good Midwesterners that forms a part of our culture as well. But speak about the culture of giving that Maple Ridge has developed over the years.
So if you're talking about like just to employees,
Sure.
Yeah. So I think what we focus on to keep the culture and to keep it real for that group of 25, going from 25 to 280, is you've got to really embrace all of these new people that come in as your core team. So we depend on them almost more than we depend on our full-time staff.
Sure.
And then what we do for them is everything from we're feeding them, we're bringing them in, they're coming in early. It's sort of a really like a family environment.
Very much so.
A lot of giving and recognizing.
It's a total family. That's the best way to sum it up.
We had, so I'll just tell a quick story. We had an employee come in, and after day 1 in orientation, he said, I have worked everywhere. And so we call it their encore phases, right? People that are just retiring and they don't want to give it up.
Sure.
So they come in, they're our best candidates to
Sure.
work. So he comes and he said, I've worked everywhere. I've designed $2 million projects in the local area, and I've never worked for a company like you guys. And this is day 1 of orientation.
Wow.
So that's just, your chest swells a little bit, your
Yeah.
eyes mist. So, and that's what we strive for, because when you give your employees that meaning, you know that they're going to give back to you some solid reflection of their work and what they want to do.
Well, and if you know for certain that the people that are coming to work every day don't have to worry about being in any conflict from a values perspective, you know that they're able to give you their best work on a day in and day out basis because they're unencumbered by any of those things.
That's a really great point.
Well, and all of us come to work with things that are maybe not keeping us from our best. And if something more at work only adds to that load, it makes it that much more challenging for that person to be able to do their best work, right?
We kind of have a philosophy. So when you come in, like everyone carries a backpack, a secret backpack of everything that you're carrying in the next day, right? Or that day to work. So if you don't flash a smile, you're not changing someone's life that day. So it's sort of our mentality there.
So I'm sure that people will be surprised to hear that when you have a culture of giving built into your organization, that it has a way of spilling out into the community. So talk a little bit about how you Ridgers, as we know you all to be, have taken that message of giving and spread it out beyond just your own 4 walls.
I think it's just part of our core culture from the get-go, starting with that 25 full-time staff, but like going into the fourth quarter when we bring everybody in, we do certain campaigns for United Way, but beyond that, we'll have our employees donate truckloads to the women's shelter, truckloads to the warming centers.
Wow.
And then Maple Ridge adds to that and does truckloads of food to those same locations over the holidays. So it's so beyond, like, we're really proud of the new Give Back program, but it's beyond that. It's 10 times beyond that.
Yeah, it's Tom and Mary Kate. Tom is the owner, Mary Kate is his wife, but they really are very philanthropic people. So it's sort of the basis of what we've become.
Sure.
I think we did 800 pounds annually of food to Milwaukee and Chicago shelter areas.
Wow.
So yeah, it's who you are. If you're not doing that, what is it worth at the end of the day?
And I think it makes our seasonal staff proud to come in and be such a part of that.
Yeah.
And it makes them feel invested, not just in our company, but in our community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was great. This year we handed out our whole leadership team, like the 25 full-time staff, handed out coffee cakes to all of the 280 employees.
Oh, wow.
So they're coming through and like the bridal thing.
Oh,
you know,
wow,
right?
the
And they're
receiving
coming
line.
through and we're clapping. And you could see some people like their eyes would mist, and they're like,
Right.
they treat us so good here.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it to treat you good, but it feels good to do
Sure.
that, and we love them. We couldn't do it without them
Right.
all.
And it's easy to pass it forward. Like when you have that and you come into work every day to that, it's easy to, when you walk out the door, to keep passing it forward.
Agreed.
In
You
your
know,
daily life,
Yeah,
right?
and
away
it
from your
doesn't have to be
professional
something
community.
big. It can be something small.
Sure.
It can be holding the door for somebody. It can be, and it just becomes a part of your daily action.
Second nature.
Right.
Exactly.
You're exercising that muscle on a daily
Exactly.
basis, so it becomes second nature. Well, and for me, just to imagine, we explode by tenfold, and it's the heaviest load to lift because it's the time when the company is going to make the majority of its money. So it's important for it to go well. And because you've created this environment that people are excited to be a part of,
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't become as quite of a big of focus. Like the work doesn't feel like the heavy work it probably really is.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
look at this festival atmosphere that we've created for people and how excited they are to participate.
It really is. I mean, they call it like destination employers,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
we can go and have a great time. But you hit on something really well is when you have that type of environment, you don't feel the stress levels.
Right.
You know, we have a high chaos environment.
Sure.
But there's no stress,
Yeah.
essentially, because you've removed all of those barriers.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So of course, being the good folks that you are, so employees, community, and now you've brought giving into your product line as well.
We did.
So let's hear about how, when people are trying to make a decision about products to buy, what give back have you all attached to some of the products that are from the Maple Ridge line?
So we did a lot of research when we knew we wanted to bring in an initiative like this to try to find something that not only would really help the community, but meant something to members of our team as well.
Sure.
So after a lot of checking and research and everything, we landed on Habitat for Humanity. It has a very, look at goosebumps. It has a very high meaning to a lot of members of our team.
Sure.
Whether they volunteer or have been on the receiving end of that. So we chose a handful of items that we do, they're specific to our Give Back program. And those particular items receive 15% of our profits at the end of the season. So with all that research, and by the time we really got it up and running, we saw the most action obviously in the fourth quarter. By the time we were able to get everything on our websites and really start promoting it a little bit. So we're really proud of the fact that being primarily in the fourth quarter, we still raised $5,000 for Habitat.
Yeah.
for our
Yeah,
local
it was
Habitat.
exciting.
Awesome.
I know.
So now we're really excited to see how it carries into 2020. Now that we've got it a little bit more established, we've worked out a lot of the kinks. We can really get some marketing initiatives together to really make our
Absolutely.
customers aware of it.
Right.
It's been really positive, both for our customers and for our employees, to see that and have that action there and know that they're part of giving back.
It was the research and trying to find the right fit was really challenging because we're all so passionate about so many different things. But which one would make the impact in the
Exactly.
local community on specific families that could secure housing?
Sure.
Because we know that can be an impediment to holding a job for some people.
Absolutely.
So that can really help a family flourish or someone flourish in their career. So we were really excited for that one.
Exactly.
And again, like Molly said, it's not just the Habitat, it is everything that we do in that fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So there's always giving back daily happening from
Right.
an employee comes in hungry and we find out they don't have money for groceries and we're getting them food.
Exactly.
And that happens, I think, when you have that seasonal culture, we're finding that people in the community are challenged from emotional wellness to they need a house, they need car.
Right.
I mean, so whatever we can do to help them.
Well, it's that
where we
backpack
go.
that you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about, right? That silent
absolutely.
backpack that people bring.
And to kind of piggyback on that a little bit too, as far as that 280 that's seasonal and getting them really involved, we do a huge United Way, like a whole week-long campaign where we do raffles and employees bring in baskets that get raffled off and parking spaces and little things that.
It's a party week.
Yeah, it is. Like
Essentially.
everybody gets excited. And when you look at the amount of money that we get to raise and give back into United Way, because the employees get excited about it.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to feeling invested. They're a part of our company. They're a part of what, as a company, we get to help the community with. And they're, it's amazing.
Yeah, we do a great job with United Way. I mean, so away from Habitat, for United Way, we're at $9,000 last year.
Yeah.
$9,000 with our company match.
And I remember, you telling me that when you measured the year-over-year growth of that giving program, that you were witnessing just incredible growth of giving within your employee base.
Absolutely, and you're talking about employees that come in to work for us for 60 days. They participate in this Give Back program. Some of them can't even make ends meet, and they're still giving back.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, and then we support that environment, you get goosebumps coming into work with these people.
You see them come in, they get all excited because, we got this basket ready to go, or we're donating for this, or we're donating for that, and they get all excited. And to really watch that excitement makes, I don't know about anybody else, but as part of our core team, it's fun to step back and be like, we're making an impact.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then to find out, like, even in conversations, again, you've got Habitat United Way, but the majority of the workforce that comes in for our production, they're out doing their own volunteer work as well. And through conversations, you find out all of these facets of the community that we're all impacting together. So,
Yeah, it's
lots of stories.
Well, and to keep going with that, I'm very proud, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but as a company, for our full-time staff that does our own personal volunteering, the company will come in and help out those same organizations.
Nice.
And we get, we can volunteer on company time if we need to for these organizations, because Tom and Mary Kate recognize the need, and they're proud to help back us in what drives us in other ways that they may not have known,
It's fantastic.
organizations that may need help, and they're more than willing to really support their employees in doing that work.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's so good. I mean, if you can't feel the resonance of the giving coming from this conversation, then we're not doing a good job here. So knowing that, so if I'm about to step out of the room and we're going to leave you with the people who are watching the video to consider, they've already maybe decided that Social Good Promotions is where they're going to put their money. But now we're deciding which of my partners is it that they might want to use in order to make that happen, that executable. What say you when it comes to Maple Ridge?
I'll start, and then you can finish. So, first we'll talk about food.
Yeah.
Great food.
Great food. Prosecco gummy bears.
Some of the products are very sustainable. As far as reduce, reuse, recycle, less than 3% of our gift, we look at going to a landfill.
Nice.
So it's other than, it goes beyond that. And food, everyone loves food, right? It's the number one
If it's
holiday
good.
gift.
If it's
So
good.
Our food is good, yeah, it is. Stop by our
Totally
booth.
good. Yeah.
And then second, it's good people that allow room for growth and leadership to expand. So we're really proud of that. And then last is, I think we all believe that we can change lives, right? By small actions, small moments that create big results.
Love it.
I think as consumers ourselves, we all tend to gravitate towards companies that give back. And so by Maple Ridge being involved in such a wide variety, there's something that appeals to any buyer, whether it be because we work with the Women's Center, because we work with the warming centers or food banks or United Way or Habitat. There's, it's just relatable because we're just like them. We're going to look for those companies that do good. So we're partnering in it with them.
That's a great point.
And it's really just a matter of, and I guess, the thing that we've tried to impress in some of these discussions is we're at the stage of the game now where cost really isn't the prohibitor anymore. There's opportunity for givebacks to occur without it having to be a stretch for the buyer's budget. And by removing that as one of the obstacles of choice, it's really just a matter of now considering what is it that you would want to get behind. And then the second piece of it that we really try to impress upon people when they're making a purchase decision is, even when you make the decision to make that purchase, how are you then going to communicate what it is that you've done when you're passing out the thing that you just bought? Because the product itself if they're bourbon cordials, we know that we're doing good because they taste fantastic. But when I'm handing that to the recipient, what I really want to impress upon them is I made this purchase of this amazing tasting product because I know that something great in the world is going to happen as a result as well. And if you only do half of it, you're really not serving the objective to the totalness of what you possibly could if you were willing to then make sure that whomever is receiving that also receives the message.
Absolutely.
Right.
That whole experience. Yeah,
Agreed, which is really
definitely.
kind of, if you sum up what we just heard from the two of you, it really is, it's about the experience.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for
It
having
was
us.
really great. I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks.